Aloha! I am the Great Clement. Nah, I'm kidding. uh, it's me. Welcome back to Chocobo Chokeslam. Let's play. We are continuing here on the first floor in Slay to Spire. So, my only option right now is, again, to go to a monster, because I took this pathway. Alright, I'm not ragging on the Great Clement. I actually do enjoy watching his Let's Plays, particularly the Mega Man X series. Some of you are probably like, who the heck are you talking about? That's all good. But, again, I used Neutralize, which weakened him. I'm going to cast my non-buffed poison. I'm going to buff that as soon as I get the opportunity. And then I'm going to go ahead and mitigate damage, because I'm not healed up yet. Now, there's a strategy where people really just try to do more mitigation. I could have mitigated damage a bit better, but I was kind of just wanting to show off some of the mechanics. But again, this is available on Steam. This is actually a lot of fun. It can be frustrating, particularly when you get to the higher floors, because the enemies hit harder. You get a boss where if you don't like stun him by doing enough damage quick enough, he does like 45 damage on his hit. So this is the one flaw I've seen with the build I'm using with the poison. There's certain bosses that you're just not going to have the defensive ability to wait out unless you know you're going to hit that boss and can prepare by getting enough block cards. Ideally, with a poison build, you want to have a few attacks for when you get the guys that have immune mechanics. But you also really want to just be able to do non-poison damage when you need to. And he's dead. Goodbye. Poison potion, also nice, comes in handy. Now, I'm looking at these cards. Sucker Punch looks like that would work. Now, this chest, they always, as far as I know, have a relic in here. Whenever you have no cards in your hand during your turn, draw a card. That is not that useful. Now, what I'm going to do, because you see I have this monster and I can go Campfire, but instead I'm going to go Merchant and then Campfire, because I have 244 gold and I haven't spent any yet. Given that I have that free 0-point block, I will probably drop a block card from my hand. Unless I see something really nice in the brain fart. At the Merchant. And yeah, that was probably better served being safe for the boss, but you know what? This guy's going to take a certain amount of damage and then split into two smaller ones. What I really want is something that allows me to get more than 3 energy per turn. Now we're going to zero out on damage, and he's going to take 12. Now you see the interrupted, and he's confused. That means he's changing. There's a particular boss, and more than likely we'll probably have him first, that the mechanic is do enough damage, and he constantly hops forms. He goes from an attacking form to a defensive form. This is the only thing that sucks with the poison. If they split into smaller forms, that poison doesn't spread across. There's somebody that's watching going, yeah, it does, you idiot. You don't have the right relic. Yeah. You know, I'm sure there's a relic that does that for me. I actually think the one I mentioned in the last episode about the one that spreads the poison when an enemy dies, I think it does work the same way with the when the enemies split. I'm going to go for a heavy block on this round. Now, if you notice, I'm going to take no damage. Now, if you can stack this up, you can actually get the guy all the way down to 1 HP, and he'll split. And then with that split, both enemies will have 1 HP. I could have done that better. I could have just stacked all the poison on him, but I figured you have a little bit of a trickle down on each. Alright, good. Blocked. I'm down to 25 HP, which means I really do want to heal. Might as well. Now, the good news is he's dead. And all I gotta do is hit this guy once next turn and he's dead. Beautiful. Now I'll be a dick. Here. Have all the poison in the world. And dead. Awesome. Now I get a block potion, which comes in handy. And I can add a card to my deck. Now you're thinking, do I want to take another poison? I do, but I want the energy. Now let's go to the merchant first. Now, like, I can upgrade all my cards for the rest of the combat, which is nice. I'm looking for a particular card, and I don't see it yet. This one comes in handy, but it's not the best in this build. This card I want. And I don't have enough gold now to buy a relic, but what I'm going to do... I'm actually going to get rid of a strike. You only can do it once per visit. Now, because I'm not stupid. As much as I want to... Oh, I want to do that so bad. But I only have 25 health. I need to get health back. Because it's only 20, a certain percentage. You notice now I have 2 battles here. And either way, I was screwed. So I'm going to have enough HP to get through these and then have to heal at the next one. Because the game's not merciful, does not automatically give you a bunch of HP back when you get to the boss. Now I'm dead. Dead. And I need to mitigate, so... Damn it. I like you give me all block cards on the turn where they're not attacking. Thanks, game. Again, this is where the RNG factor comes in. It's my one complaint. It's a roguelike, so it's supposed to be RNG. What I really wish they would do is if you had a particular build you were fond of, I wish they would allow you to save that build and to start with that build the next time through. I had a really good poison build where I had that Caltrops card. I had a couple of those, and then I had a couple of another card I forget the name of, where it does poison damage every time they attack me, and then I had one that does extra poison every time I play a card. And I would get those going in any battle, and it was just a matter of attrition. I would outlast the enemy, and just every time they hit me. The only downside was I did not have enough way to mitigate damage, so when I got to the final boss, I did not do too well. Ooh. Maybe. Now I skip the potion. This guy is a pain. He's asleep, so all I want to do now is damage. And he's not going to do anything this turn because he's stunned because I woke him up. Notice the 18. This is where the game starts getting a little bullshitty. And there's a guy where if you play anything that debuffs him, his attack goes up instead. It's extremely frustrating, but it's part of the fun. Neutralize. There is a relic that gives me a certain amount of brain. What do you want to call it? Block every turn. That does more damage, so I'll take that. Now, if you notice, on my next turn, I'll have 4 out of 3. I'll have an extra one. And that's a risk you take when you do the random boss relic. Sometimes you get one that's really useful, and then sometimes you get one that doesn't matter. So you notice I have 4, so I can play all 4 cards. But he did a debuff on me, which weakens the amount of block I have. If I had 1 left, that would come in handy. Usually with this type of build, I'm going to kill it before it can do enough damage. Because you notice he took damage after hitting me, and that's because of Caltrops. Caltrops, however you pronounce it. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me in the comments. And he's dead. Goodbye. Now I got War Point. Upon pickup, upgrade 2 random skills. Now I don't get to pick them, but I got what I wanted. Poison Stab. Now I'm going to heal because I'm going into the boss fight, and this is one of those bosses that has a mechanic where he does a ton of damage up front and then slowly builds back up to doing more damage. I'm not a big fan of this one. If you notice, there'll be little flames around him. Build up. All these are lit up, so he's going to do 6 attacks at 6 damage apiece. So what I'm going to do, as much as I want to attack, I need to mitigate as much as I can. The good news is he's going to hurt himself every time he attacks me. Now I'm going to deal 6 damage every time I'm attacked. I want to mitigate as much as I can. And again, mitigation really depends on the boss because you get your health back when you hit the next 4, so I don't need to panic. But I tend to be a little more cautious than I need to. So let's take a free... You notice how much HP he has. And I'm going to drink my regen potion. Just in case he gets the stack all the way around before I can kill him. This is what I'm talking about. Unplayable. At the end of your turn, take 2 damage. When you have 2 or 3 of those in your hand, that becomes a huge bitch. I have no attacks, I might as well. I believe, though, that comes off my block. Which shouldn't, but I'm not complaining. Oh, heck yeah. Now I'm going to have 4 next turn. Now I'm doing 25 damage by default. And if I remember correctly, and we'll find out in a minute if I'm wrong, poison bypasses armor. So you can't block your way past poison. Now I just got rid of that card. Beautiful. Oh, and I took down all his... Oh, okay. That's how that card works. That's actually useful. Down to 24. Down to 29. So I'm going to kill him next turn. Here you go, buddy. And 4-1 boss is dead. 102 gold. Fire Potion, which you see does 20 damage. Now I can add a better card. And I do like Wraith Form. But in Venom, whenever an attack deals unblocked damage, apply a poison. On a poison build, that card and as many of those as you can get is amazing. Now this is where the RNG comes in again. Velvet Choker. You gain energy at the start of each turn, but you can't play more than 6. Elites now drop 2 relics, which is awesome. Or I'm going to take the one where I can pick 5 cards. Not quite what I wanted. I was hoping it was I can pick 5 cards. I'm going to take Bane. I don't want another one of those. I'm gonna play Consecrate. Somebody's yelling at me, you didn't pick the right cards! But hey, we finished 4-1. We're now on 4-2, or Act 2. So, thank you, everybody. Tune in next episode here as we continue our climb up this Spire. And again, this has been Slay the Spire, and this is Alan V with Chocobo Chokeslam.